Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Colin Jackson, and I have the huge privilege to be hosting the press conference today here for Weltklasse 2023. Right at the moment, we're going to start with our wonderful Swiss family here, which I'll introduce you to slowly but surely. But it's going to be a fantastic day for you all. If you are going to stay around, there's so many of the great champions that you'll be introduced to, hear from, and I know some of you will have some one-on-ones booked in already. We will, at the top end of the table here, we'll ask some questions for about 20 minutes. So I'll kind of host the initial thing for about 20 minutes, get the athletes hopefully warmed up and ready for any questions that you guys will have from the floor. That will give you plenty of opportunity, and then we'll move on around 45 minutes from whenever I start, like now, to the next series and rounds of interviews. So it should be really a fantastic day for you and afternoon. So first of all, I kind of say we have the co-meet directors here. They're pretty important, but I'm going to bypass you. I'm sorry. And I'm going to go straight to the athletes, who are the real deal in my opinion there. Jason Joseph here, Swiss 110-meter hurdler and record holder. 6 national titles. Outdoors, super impressive. Diti, who's here as well, 100-meter hurdler, and of course she has also just recently set the Swiss record. Fantastic. And Simon Ehammer here, also long jumper, decathlete, as you know, a multi-medalist already at numerous decathlons and long jump events. So those are the athletes that we will be talking to initially, but I've got to then go directly to our meet directors. Christoph, and Andreas, here to go. So if I can start with our meet directors, we are technically on competition day. How are you feeling? I should really say Andreas first. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm excited. Of course, tonight, as you know, we have the pole vault in the train station again. So the women's pole vault, and everybody's there from the athlete side. So very excited.
And the poles are there?
Pole vault.
Yeah, so it's really important that our athletes and their equipment are there. Thank goodness. I mean, Christoph, in your opinion, very happy that we're back there in the main stadium. In the main station, 2019. It's been some time.
It's quite a while, but we are happy to be back because it's the most busiest place in Switzerland, and there it's excellent to connect to people who have no direct contact with athletics, and they see just for free the best athletes of the world. And this is a an excellent place for promotion, to get people excited about Weltklasse, about the athletes, and one day they want to have more.
We had to chat yesterday about the situation and circumstances. Have there been any changes? Because in the world of athletics, 24 hours, a lot can happen. Is everything still nice and solid, and we're happily moving on there?
At the moment, yes.
We'll keep that. Andreas, on your side, all good?
Yeah, the pole vaulters are not the ones that cancelled the most, I must say. So the pole vaulters are really steady, and everybody's there that I expect to be there.
Okay, that is great. And if you just swing your eyes round to your left, you see some of your great athletes here, which is even more fantastic for you, I guess, because they're not just national stars, they are international stars. And I think when you're a country like Switzerland, it's really important to have international stars when you're trying to drive athletics. And does it help your scenario when you've got talent like this?
Yeah, for sure. So that is even more important than to have the international stars. So that is the expectation of the spectators, for sure, having Weltklasse in the name. So that is like program. You need to have the best of the world. But if you have the opportunity to showcase the Swiss stars together with the best of the world, and they compete to win tonight, or tomorrow, tonight Shericka within the pole vault family. But yeah, that is more important than have the international stars.
Brilliant. I'm going to go straight on to the athletes now. Ditaji Kambundji, can I first of all start with you? Because you set your personal best home, locally, right, in Switzerland. So that must be really exciting to you, because you've kind of backed it up as well with performances.
Yeah, it was very special to do it at home. I think that was important for me also to do it before World Championships. It gave me a lot of confidence also that it was possible to make the final and that it was possible to run fast times. And yeah, to do it at home as the last competition before Worlds was very special. It was in Bern. And yes, I think it's always great to be running in Switzerland. I think it gives me some kind of other energy. And yeah, that's why I'm also very excited to run tomorrow.
Absolutely. One thing I'm going to touch on for the World Championships for you, was it difficult to lift your performance again after winning the under-23s? Because you literally had championship, couple of days, another championships.
I think I've kind of gotten used to having multiple championships every year. I think since 2021, when I started doing more international championships, I always had 2 or 3 major championships. So I was kind of used to it. I think it's more weird for me now just to have one championship in a year.
I can imagine that. Simon, for you, I mean, you're a great long jumper, a great decathlete, but of course, obviously, hindered by shoulder injury this year. I mean, how does that affect you mentally? Because I presume your desire is still to get out there and do decathlon.
Yeah, it was tough because I waited as long as I can to choose which event I will do. I was quite happy that I have to choose the long jump because of an injury and not like I need to decide because of the timetable.
Right.
That was a little easier for me because I had my injury can compete on the highest level in the decathlon. But the last 2-3 weeks before the Worlds, I had to work a lot in my head because I trained great. I'm in great shape, and sometimes my head told me that the decathlon would be so nice. I would score a big result, and I had to really focusing on the long jump. That was tough.
I asked I know her very well, Jackie Joyner-Kersey, right? One of the best heptathlete, well, the world record holder still at heptathlon. I was going to say one of the best of all time. I think she technically is the best of all time. There's no doubt about it. Jackie, about her long jumping and her heptathlon, of course, because she was a consummate long jumper, we know, right? Incredible. And I said to her, are you a long jumper who does heptathlon, or are you a heptathlete that does long jump? She went, I do both, right? And I thought, okay, that does make sense when you're at such high quality. So do you feel yourself like that? You're just great at both?
Yeah, for sure. I'm lucky that I'm great in both. My heart are a decathlete. I love to do it. It's so special to compete 2 days with all the guys, with a lot of highs and lows in these 2 days. But it's also great to have the chance to start in different Diamond League meetings, compete against the best long jumpers in the world, and also can name me as a good or really good long jumper. So for me, it's hard to say I'm only one thing because I have the privilege to be both. So in the heart, I'm decathlete, but I love long jump too.
Yeah, it's great to mess up the heads of specialist athletes as well. It's really great when you step in and they start to panic, for sure. Jason, over to you. I mean, what a year you had. Started off indoors with an incredible championship victory there. I was sweating a little bit because I thought you were going to take my championship record, I must admit, on stage, right? And I was there thinking, oh, come on now, clip a hurdle at least, right? But a beautiful start to the year in that sense. So that really set up your whole season. You were happy there, you came outdoors, you started to run really, really well. So where were you at going into Budapest and championships in your mind?
Well, I had a pretty good feeling heading to World Championships. You know, I felt ready, felt fast, felt strong, knew what I was capable of. Entering that first round of Budapest, it kind of didn't really match up, but then I knew, you know, I advanced to the semifinals, so that was the most important thing. Then semifinals, I tried to win my heat, didn't quite go, you know, the way I planned it, but I knew, you know, I ran 13:28 or something, clipped several hurdles, and it wasn't a great race. So I was pretty confident lining up in the finals, and then, yeah, I feel like didn't execute the way I wanted to execute, didn't, you know, really show what I would be capable of. So I definitely felt better than what I did in Budapest.
If it makes you feel any better, because I know how you feel emotionally, right? I had a disaster Olympic Games, ended 7th when I should have won the title. The following year I broke the world record and won the world title, so don't worry. All right? Just get another winter behind you and you're pretty sure where you're going in that sense. I mean, Christoph, when you hear your athletes here speak like this, you must have that sense of, yeah, we're so proud of what our nation's delivering.
Yeah, of course, this is the most important thing where we invest as well, as Zurich, all the money. It goes 100% back to the athletes, to the Swiss athletes. And that's why Res Brücker created Weltklasse Zurich, to get an income stream to support coaches and athletes in Switzerland. And this is still the same philosophy we have here. And I still remember it was probably 10, 12 years ago. We had no Swiss athlete in the main program. And we celebrated Viktor Röthlin as a marathon runner because he was the only one we could really be proud of him. And he did a lap of honor and won the Nicolas Spirik. We used them to see the Swiss flag, and now we are a completely different situation, and it's paying off the kind of the years of investment over and over and over again.
Yeah, and of course, Andres, you're setting up the program, the race schedules, the people to compete against. I've seen the lineups. You've not been very forgiving, have you, right? Yeah, because your athletes got some tough races, yeah.
Yeah, it depends a little bit if you set up a Diamond League race or an additional race, of course. So we don't have the 110 hurdles in the Diamond League program this year, but we wanted to showcase, of course, Jason Joseph. So I organized a race for him to have a real competition, but not the best competition that is possible, because the real Diamond League race is 2 days after us in Xiamen in China. So not each and everybody is available to run here, and it makes sense that the best are there. But it's a good race still to have the competition to be able to really run fast. So that is what we try to do with his race. The other two races, or the other two disciplines, I must say, the race where Ditaji is in is one of the most competitive races of this year. So it's the Diamond League, it's a World Championship final, basically, in the Diamond League here, plus the two US girls that just missed out the team, plus the European champion. So it's kind of the challenge to show what she's really able to do. And the field Simon's in is as well more or less the ones that came out of Budapest healthy. Yeah. And everybody's here.
Yep. Yep, so it's really good. Are you guys ready and up for this competition? I mean, Jason, I saw Hansel doing some warming up, so yeah, you must always be excited to race the Olympic champion at least.
For sure. I mean, it's a huge inspiration to, just race those guys, race people who I used to look up to. Obviously still looking up to them, but it's different now that I'm on the field with them. It's not that admiring type of looking up, is more I'm trying to beat you. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
Do you know, I'm going to give you another little advice here now. Hurdler to hurdler, don't just try and beat them, try to retire them, right? Send them away so they don't come back. That's the best thing.
Hopefully with Parchment, I just have to, wait a little longer. He's 32, so he won't be in the game for too long.
Yeah, rush him out. That's the same. And of course, I mean, the women's 100 hurdles, I mean, it's the most exciting event to me on the track, because literally anything can happen. Literally. I always said to people when I was working on the event in Budapest, if we ran this race 5 times, we get 5 different winners and 5 different. It's that competitive. So that must surely still excite you, that you're genuinely in the mix. 12-4, you're genuinely in the mix.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm really looking forward to running tomorrow. I think it's always great to run against these athletes, and I think every race I do, I come a little bit closer and a little bit closer, and I think that's the goal, to just improve each race, and it's always very inspiring to run against them. And yeah, I feel happy that I'm already in a better position to run against these women than last year, for example. So yeah, I'm also excited who is going to run what time and what race it's going to be. So yeah, I think it's interesting to be in that mix.
Absolutely. And of course, Simon, you'll be there on the field, lined up, ready to go, and the whole of the side of a stadium is going to be cheering for you. There's going to be no pressure at all whatsoever. How comfortable and confident are you feeling for tomorrow?
Yeah, pretty comfortable. It's more for me, I have a lot to do better than in Budapest, like 1 centimeter less on the board, and now I can jump a clean and long jump. The feel is great. It was the whole season at the Diamond League meetings a really, really high level in the long jump, and I showed them in Oslo that I'm a man who can win a meeting, and the same will be here. It will be a little louder than normally for me, but that's really nice. So maybe I go 1 feet more back because I have a little more tailwind because of the crowd. But yeah, I take the energy and look to jump as far as possible.
Jason, I mean, we've got to always look forward to the Olympic Games. It's literally a home Olympic Games for European athletes. It's a train ride away. I mean, does that kind of excite you, the fact that it's literally around the corner? It's nearly like a home Games that you can go out there and perform.
Kind of makes me nervous, to be honest. Kind of makes me nervous because, like you said, it's just around the corner. This season isn't even done yet. You know, I still have certain goals to achieve for this season, so it's almost too close. You know, it's almost too close. But I'm excited. I mean, it's Paris. It's an Olympic year next year, and everything can happen. So just gotta get back to the drawing books, and you know.
Well, one more year on of the winter, if you get half the improvement you had from last year to this year, I mean, it literally throws you into medal contention straight away. And the hurdles as an event, it can go either way. So for you, I guess it's just a focus on consistency now?
I think so. But still, I kind of, you know, coming off that indoor season, I felt like running sub 13 should be something that's obviously not easily, because you don't just break the 13-second barrier, but running 7:41 indoors, I was like, you know, I should be running 12:98 or something like that. Right now I'm standing at 13:10, so that kind of makes me nervous, you know. So you never know when it's going to happen, but I guess consistency is key, because that's what I showed indoors. That's definitely something that gave me the confidence and gave me the security inside of me to really step on the track in Istanbul and know that if I perform or if I just do what I've done till this point, then nothing's going to stop me.
Didi, for you then, when we talk about improvement, you've made a big improvement, stepped up already. I mean, where can you see those real tiny differences that can take you really a little bit closer to the rostrum again?
I think when he talked about consistency, it's also a big point for me. I think this year was important for me to have that consistent times around these 12:70, a little bit under it, that really I was able to run that time multiple times, and when I do what I can do, I can run this time, and then when everything works and when everything works together, I can go into the 12:50, 12:40 something, and that was really important for me. So when it clicks, that I can run faster, and I think next year will be the goal to have these consistent times around maybe the 12:50, and then I can have the perfect race that goes even faster. So I think really to lower that the consistent times throughout the season will bring me to faster times.
do you know what? Half of me was hoping you were going to say, well, Colin, I'm going to run 60 metres indoors and sort out my sister and take her title from her. But I didn't want to cause a family argument, so I thought I'd better back off of there. I guess, Simon, for you, is it virtually the same thing? Or that consistency, obviously, on the board will help, right? Because a couple of championships is long jumping, which we all were rubbing our hands together thinking, okay, he's going to say something here which will keep you in the competition, has caused a bit of issues for you in that sense. So I guess it's a similar story?
Yeah, it's a similar story because over the last years I always get better and better in the decathlon and in the long jump, and normally I'm a guy who had a lot of legal jumps and not a lot of faults, but now it's a different story this year. I decided to only compete as a long jumper, so the focus on the event was more like the last years. Last year I did the decathlon, that was the main focus, and all I did in long jump was like nice to have. And now it's the focus on this, and maybe it's like I want to show the world how great I am in the long jump and to watch me anyways if I start in long jump or in the decathlon. And yeah, this is now a new challenge for me to make as a specialist the same performance as a decathlete with the same kind of flow, and yeah, that's the hard part, but for sure it's important to make as high and as much good jumps as is possible.
I guess, guys, you're listening to them again, you're hearing that they got still huge aspirations to continue improving, and that improvement will take them literally to world leaders. How exciting is that for you?
It is. It is the same mindset that we have as well. So one of our claims, or our claim, is never stop. So it's never stop getting better, never stop believing, never stop reaching goals. So that is some kind of a new ambition for Swiss athletes in the last few years, and maybe Sister Mujinga did like the first steps towards that as a role model, showing everybody she can do it, why not me? And that is, I think, in the mindset of a lot of younger athletes right now in Switzerland, track and field athletes I'm speaking of, and that is very welcomed, of course, because that's the only way to get to the top.
Yep. Christoph?
Yeah, in Switzerland it was for a long time, but still is in the culture. You don't have to, you never speak about your ambitious goals. Also, World Class Zurich, we want to be number one in the one-day meetings, not number two or not middle class. We want to be world class. And we talk about it, and I'm very proud about this generation of athletes. They talk about, I set goals. I'm not satisfied just to qualify for the Olympics. I want to be in the final and I want to win.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good attitude.
Yeah, I think it's the right attitude, it's the excellent attitude. And I'm so looking forward not only to the competition tomorrow and seeing you all compete, but for your future, because you're all still very young, which I'm very jealous about. I've got an incredibly bright future in front. So thanks for spending some time with us today. And don't forget, we're going to do a selfie in a moment. But before we do our selfie, I'll ask any questions from the floor, from anybody really on this panel except for me, right? In that sense, if there's any questions from anybody on the floor. No, everybody's very happy. We do like that. Thank you very much. And of course, we're going to do our selfie, guys. So thank you very much for our Swiss family. Thank you. Well, hello and welcome to our second set of interviews today, and it's really fantastic to meet some great sprinters and hurdlers sitting alongside me. Danielle Williams, 100-meter world champion from Budapest, nice clenches. Shericka Jackson, 200-meter gold medalist, of course, from the world championships, and a local hero, multi-medalist. Of course, sitting right next to me as well, we got Mujinga Kambundji. Fantastic that you're here. It's going to be brilliant, I know, because we've already had a little bit of a chat amongst us all. Don't worry, Mujinga, right? Greatness is there, Shericka, and I say that because her surname's Jackson, right? So that's really important to me, right? In that sense, Danielle, of course, 100-meter hurdles. She's a hurdler. You got my love, right? Yeah. But don't worry, there's no favoritism, because I learned to ski here in Switzerland, right? So I have a love for this country as well. So with that in mind, let's start off with you. Let's think about how your season's really panned out, because you had that foot injury so early, which has just hampered your performances.
Yeah, it was really not that easy. I started my season a lot later than expected, and then my first competition was just also a bit to see how it goes, if it's fine or not, and it wasn't. So it took me some time, but I was able to find a solution to get better and to do some competition before the World Championship. So it was definitely not my best preparation, but in the end, at least I did a season best. I was there, so in the end, I can be happy, I think.
Yeah, you're going to have a happier season, hopefully, in the future as well, once we got that foot sorted out completely.
Yes, I think so. I think now I just also need some rest, because I think people know when you have something with the foot, then you have a bit of disbalance with the body. So I think my body's happy that it's the end of the season. So yeah, 2 more and then it's good.
Then you shut it down. Shericka, what a year you've had, and there's no doubt about it. I mean, blazing 10.65, winning the 100 metres first for the Jamaican Championships, then backing that up with consistent 200-metre performances, and then a breathtaking victory in Budapest. You're smiling, like I see you're still smiling about everything that's happened. So, in complete contrast to Mujinga there, your season has been pretty nailed on.
Definitely. It has been a wonderful season. Personal best, some great runs, It's been a really good season. I can't complain. Back-to-back 200 champion, a silver medal in the 100 again. So it's really been going good. I have to be grateful.
Yeah, I mean, you've entertained the world. When I say that, how does that feel?
It feels good. It actually feels good to say, I entertain the world.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. And Danielle, I mean, come on, lane 2, where are you playing at? Right, streaking out, taking the title from lane 2. Everybody frustrated. So how was that? How did you feel about doing that?
Oh, it was awesome, man. I always want to be as close to the gun as possible. I only need to hear the click and I'm gone. And so when I saw that I got lane 2, I was extremely happy, and because I was out away from all the drama that was happening in the middle of the track, and so I could just focus on my 10 hurdles, myself, doing what I need to do.
100-meter hurdling in the world at this particular moment in time is just incredible. I mean, literally incredible. Every single lane, and I've got to say, virtually every single competition is stacked with talented women, all really going to that #1 position. So for you to come out top at the World Championships, I mean, when you wake up, do you just go, yeah, man, and tap yourself on the back?
Yes. Yes. A couple times a day I'll go like, yeah, you're the world champion again.
Yes.
Good job, girl.
Yes, again. And we you shouldn't allude that. You've won this title before. So which one was sweeter?
Oh, this one for sure.
Why?
Just because of all the adversity I went through to get back to this point. It has not been an easy journey by no means. And so just to get back on top again and what it took to get there, this one is definitely sweeter.
Yeah, you can imagine that. I mean, if I come back to you, Shericka, I mean, you've won, like you mentioned, the 200 metres back-to-back, 21-4 on 2 occasions. Budapest, the wind conditions were pretty zero. Yeah, not a help in that sense. So if, potentially, if we had like, let me just pull out a random wind speed, +2. Let's make it random, +2. How fast do you think you could have gone in that 200 meters?
Pretty fast, When I saw the time, even though I wrote the 21:40 on the bib, when I saw the time, I was like, oh. But I didn't know the win at the time. So when I was going around and I saw the win, I was like, why I could not even get a little one or something. But it's give and take. You have to prepare. It's a sprint and you need to win. And unfortunately, I didn't get it on that day. But I have 3 more 200 this season. So definitely.
You heard she has 3 more 200s, and you're not backing off of that potential if it could happen. That is for sure. I mean, if you think about that, though, it's the 200 meters. You were trying to win a title, or were you trying to run fast?
I know I was capable of winning the 200. When I ran the 21.8 in Monaco, I was super heavy. So I definitely know that I was in pretty good shape. So I know once I came off that curve, if you let me come off that curve before you know it's over from there. So for me personally, when I realized how I ran the semi-final, I was like, okay, then I'm ready. So I was like, okay, then I'm going out there to compete against the clock. I was in lane 6. Yes, I was hoping I was in front because I like running from in front most of the times. I don't like to be seeing anybody. But I was like, okay, then I'm in lane 6. I just have to focus on my lane. And when I crossed that line, I was like, I'm close, So for me, it was really, really good.
Mujinga, for you, unfortunately, you couldn't compete in the 200 because you really hadn't had enough background work done. So it was a sensible decision. So when you watch Shericka run there, what was going through your mind?
It was really impressive. Well, I was betting on you, and the conditions weren't that great the whole week, so I thought, I hope that it's going to be a bit better in the 200. But it was nice to watch the 200, even though I wasn't able to run it, but I'm hoping I will be back next year.
Do you have a favorite event? Because you're great at the 60, you're great at the 1, you're great at the 2. Is there a favorite?
It always changes every year. Sometimes I'm a bit stronger in the 100, sometimes a bit in the 2, so I always change a little bit, but I'm happy I don't have to decide because I really like all the 3 distance.
Yeah. Danielle, for you, in the 100-meter hurdles, in that sense, we know the competition, they say, is always being pretty stacked in that sense. And there's always this competition, it seems, between Jamaica and the United States. How do you feel? Do you feel like you're carrying a little bit extra because the island's pressure?
No, not at all. It's great that we have that good rivalry between the United States and Jamaica, but at the end of the day, it's just lining up and doing the best that you can do and racing as hard as you can. So I don't feel any pressure. I just line up and try to win. That's literally all I do.
So how do you get the consistency over the barriers? Because what seems to happen when we're watching is that it's the woman that makes the least mistakes takes the title.
Yes, absolutely. I remember a couple of years ago, Aries Merritt told me that whoever runs the cleanest race usually wins. And so I've kept that in the back of my mind through every championship. Just run a clean race, run a clean race. Doesn't matter what happens before this, focus on running as clean as a race as you can, and you're likely to win.
Yeah. Shericka, for you, if we kind of look at your whole athletic career, the 1, the 2, the 4, any thoughts about potentially, maybe I should run another 400 now I'm running so quick?
Definitely. I said I wanted to break the Jamaica national record, which is currently 49.3. My personal best is 49.4, which back in 2019. So I wanted to run the 100 and the 400 at the Jamaica Trials, but coach would allow me. But I definitely hope someday coach and I can sit and we go back to the 400, because I definitely want to see how fast I can run now that I'm super faster than before. So definitely I think I am capable of running super fast 400, and as I said, hope one day coach and I will revisit the 400.
Right. You can't just say to us you're going to be super fast. You got to give us a little bit, a little bit more. Do you think you could go sub 49, sub 48? What are you thinking?
Definitely. I think I'm capable of. I think back when I had a different coach, he said I was capable of running 47, and definitely I still believe that. And as I said, it's just to trust your body and trust your coach, and definitely hope. As I said, right now I'm at 49.4. As I said, over the years I've gotten faster, both 100 and 200. So once I'm able to run, I put together a solid 400. Definitely, I think 48, 47 possible.
Yeah, Mujinga. I mean, for you, I've spoke to some of the other Swiss athletes already, including your sister, in that sense, and what they've all kind of alluded to is that you've been a trailblazer for them because you're the one who's made it on the international circuit first, and you've inspired them all to believe in themselves. How do you feel about that as being like, you know, the one?
Of course, it makes me very proud, and I'm really happy to see that it inspires so many young athletes, even the under 20, under 18, that they see that even we, the Swiss, small Swiss country, we can do medals, we can be among the best, and I think nobody doubt that anymore now, because you have so many other also athletes who medal in World Championships, European Championships. So I'm really happy that it changed completely, and that we go home with the medal from almost all the competitions, at least the juniors, the European Championships, and I think that's just the best what can happen for the Swiss track and field.
And what can we expect from you here in Zurich? What kind of performance are you looking for, personally?
It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. I don't know. I didn't train that much since Budapest, but on one side I still feel good. I mean, the body is still there, but I also feel that it starts to hurt here, a bit there. So it's just, it's really the close end. So I'm just enjoying to run tomorrow here in Zurich. It's always really special for us Swiss, and I love this track. I've done PBs many times here, so it's always nice to come back, even if I'm not in the best shape. So I'm just happy to run here.
Yeah, I can see that. And also, I always know the support that you get from here. There's always a massive celebratory applause when your name is announced. So fantastic. I'm looking forward to that. And Shericka, for you, I mean, you could have dropped down to the 100 if you wanted to, but you're taking the long distance. What's going on?
As I said, Coach Anna has been working on some small details in the 200. I think for the remaining of the season, it's all 200s. So for me, as I said, I just finished the World Championship. I had a good training session yesterday. Hopefully I have a good training one today too. So it's just to have some fun tomorrow. I don't think tomorrow will be super fast, but as I said, I just want to have some fun tomorrow and execute as best as I can.
Do you know, I'm starting to smile, right? Because you say, tomorrow won't be super fast. So what happens if you run 21.5? You'd be like, okay, it wasn't super fast.
I'm definitely. Let's see how tomorrow goes.
Okay, that's fair. Let's see how tomorrow goes. That's great. And Danielle, how about for you? I mean, tomorrow is, again, I've looked at the I mean, just shake your head. Just shake your head.
Tomorrow.
It is another final virtually tomorrow. Stacked, yeah.
They're always stacked.
Yeah.
These girls, we've lined up countless of times all across the season, and tomorrow will be no different. But for me, I don't think I've ran a complete hurdle race as yet this season. We're still trying to work on the last 4 barriers, and so tomorrow is just another opportunity for me to try and get it correct and have some fun and beat some people.
Yeah.
Everybody's got. Yeah, we'll just make sure we don't, not cross paths. We'll be good. Listen, it's time for me to hand out to the floor. If anybody's got any questions for these wonderful athletes, let me know. Oh, yep, we got one here. Can we have the mic here?
Hi, question for Danielle. So both in 2015 and in 2023 entering the Worlds, you weren't even in like the top 10 in terms of times. I'm just curious how, if you pay attention to all the other women and the times that they're running entering the championships, or are you able to kind of block things out and focus?
Yes. we see what everybody's running because we're competing against them, and so you have to be mindful of how fast they're going. But at the end of the day, we prepare, or the World Championships is our main goal for the season. That's what we prepare for. And we know coming into the World Championships, everybody is at zero. It doesn't matter what you did prior to that. We're all at zero. It's a level playing field. And so I am aware of what they've done, but it also doesn't affect what I do coming into the World Championships.
Okay.
Danielle, in Budapest I was sitting pretty much in line with the finish line. I had no idea who had won. Did you realize you had won, or when did you?
Not initially, no. I expected it to be a close race, and so I knew I was among the medals. But being out in lane 2, you're not really, no one's really close to. I knew the person to my immediate right wasn't close to me, but I had no idea how close the others were. And so not until the names came up was I certain that I had won.
Shericka, you obviously had a very heavy program in Budapest. Is that why you feel perhaps tomorrow may not be your fastest run to the end of the season? Can you still feel it in your legs at this stage, or?
Honestly, I don't think what I did in Budapest has anything to do with how I perform tomorrow. I kind of under the weather a bit, so I don't know how tomorrow night will play out with me being under the weather. But as I said, it's not the first time I'm doubling, so I think my body is used to it. It's just that how much I think I am struggling with me being under the weather. But as I said, I don't think tomorrow will be a fast run. Coach and I spoke, and well, I hope it's a good one, but I don't think it will be a fast one.
Question for Shericka. The last 2 years, you've run your fastest time of the year in the World Championship final in the 200 after 3 rounds of the 100 and 3 rounds of the 200. You also run a lot of Diamond Leagues in the season. How do you peak so well to make sure that 200 final is your fastest time of the year?
I've always said this. I think Coach always told me that it don't matter how you perform at a Diamond League once you are executing, because Diamond Leagues and local meets are where you practice to become perfect, to fix the details leading up to the championship. So when we'll go to a Diamond League, especially after the Jamaica trials, I was training and then competing the next day. So I think Coach structured the program where we run heavy to peak for the championship. So I just think he knew what he was doing, and I trusted him, and that's why I run my 2 fastest 200 at a championship.
Hi. As a homegirl myself, I hear the Jamaican accents, and I am so proud of you young people. I don't have a question. I just want to congratulate you.
Thank you so much.
All three of you. I wish you all the best tomorrow. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
It's nice to hear. We have another question here at the front.
Just a question for Shericka. You mentioned, the time goals you have for the 400. Do you ever envision yourself going at the World Championships or the Olympics for the 400 again?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. As I said back in 2021 when Coach switched me from the 4 to the 2, I don't know. I don't think so, though, but I really, really hope so. We are learning the 100 and the 200, so we are enjoying it right now. So let's see. I don't know.
That was never not a never, right? Yeah. Still a potential there. Any more questions from the floor? Oh, yep.
Danielle, Nicole Jeffrey from World Athletics. Obviously 8 years between world titles. Did you ever get to a point where you thought, I'm never getting back there again in that period? And what do you think has brought you back to that level?
Short answer is yes. There has been many doubts along the way. What has got me back there has just been consistency in practice, doing everything that I can control, being faithful, and just trusting that at one time, if it is going to happen, God will make it happen.
Yep, we have another question here.
So, question for Danielle. So, you talked about the rivalry between Jamaica and the USA, and top of the rivalry is about the world records too. I mean, it's not held by a Jamaican or an American, it's held by a Nigerian. How much have you set your sights on that world record, and do you think it's something you will do in the nearest future?
From the moment I started getting competitive in the hurdles, many people told me that I have the potential to break the world record. I didn't necessarily believe it at the time. I just thought, you guys are just talking. But the more I go, the more I believe that it is in range. And funny story, 12:12, the time that Toby ran to break the world record last year, I actually had a dream a few years ago that the world record was going to be 12.12 seconds. I thought that was going to be me who was going to break it, but it wasn't. And so I still believe that it is within range. We're all out here. The essence of track and field is running as fast as you can. And so I believe that I can run 12.1 seconds. It's just a lot of things that need to be tweaked to get there, but I think I could get there.
Any further questions? Yep, we got one at the back there.
Hello, question for anyone who wants to answer. How is it difficult mentally or physically to manage to get back to a level of concentration after such a big event as the Worlds? Is it easy to finish the season or to find a new goal?
Yeah, I guess that's a question for all three of you. Is it difficult to remotivate yourself after the championships? I'm going to start with Mujinga, but because the reason why I'm going to start that for you as well, because you're home as well, and that adds another little bit, I think, of potentially a pressure.
For me, it's always different. I usually sometimes when I did a PB at the championships, it was always hard, more mentally. But for example, 2021, I finished the season even better than at the championships. So it's always different. Of course, racing in Switzerland is a big motivation, so that helps a lot. But it's always different. Once, like that. So I have both.
Yeah. Shericka?
For me, I think it's really, really easy because, as I said, like this season, I haven't met my goals that I set this season, both 100 and 200. So for me, I think it's pretty easy. As I said, it's more mental in the sports, and I'm deep on mental, honestly. And for me to bounce back after a championship is something I pay keen attention to. For me, it's very, very easy.
Okay, Danielle.
Yeah, so I've never actually competed after a major championship before, so this will be my first time. So I'm kind of excited to see how I do. It is definitely a change, mentally and physically to refocus on the rest of the season. But I still have one more goal that I have yet to accomplish this season, and so that's what's driving me.
Brilliant. Well, thank you all very much for those wonderful questions. The athletes have been outstanding as always. So if you've booked, say, a one-to-one with one of these athletes, you'll be shown to that very shortly. But in the meantime, as you start preparing yourself, I start preparing myself for the mandatory selfie. All right. Thanks, everybody. Back shortly. Number 3 of our interviews with some absolutely cracking athletes, as you can see up here with me. Karsten Warholm in the centre, Noah Lyles to my left, and right across the other side, Mondo Duplantis. Gentlemen, first of all, I've got to say, I've written literally 0 notes in preparation for this kind of interview. I've got nothing, literally. Literally nothing, because I thought, well, you know what, I've got limited amount of time to talk to these guys. One thing I'm never worried about is whether they can talk, right? You've always got great stories. You're successful champions. I'm going to start with the really corny things and get them out the way early. So let's talk about Budapest, right? You were all really successful with there. Are you all happy with it? No, let's start with you. Are you truly happy with Budapest and everything that happened there?
I'm truly happy.
All right, say no more.
No, I mean, of course, there were times that were obviously written, but at the end of the day, you can only become a world champion on those days. Times can always come. I mean, if the right circumstance happens, we could break world records here, but you can't be a world champion not at world championships. And grabbing 3 gold medals, is more than I could have truly asked for, because you never know what can go on in a relay. So truly getting 3 is a huge blessing.
Yeah, absolutely. And for you, Karsten, Budapest ticked all the boxes?
Yeah, I think so, and it's actually what Noah says. I really agree with that. There is one important day to be the best in the world, and that is the day of the World Championships final. And I put a lot of pride in that, of course. So to be able to get the title back after losing it in Eugene, also it meant a lot. So now I have 3 of them, and hopefully still counting.
Mondo.
Yeah, I mean, I can't complain. I think that us 3 here, we're all in fairly similar situations. I think it was a little bit maybe different for Noah in the 100, with more having something to prove rather than going into his other event like a huge favorite, like kind of the us 3 did. So it's a different type of pressure, and it's a one day thing. And yeah, you got to show up on the right day, and you know that everybody around you they're peaking at that moment too. So you got to go up there with your A game, and just because you're going in as a favorite, they don't give you the title. You have to go out there and you got to earn it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things I'm going to pick up on you did there, which I find really interesting. One thing, you say gold medals are not won on paper, right? You've got to go out there and produce the goods. It doesn't matter what anybody says. And the other thing is about the pressure of competition. Because you guys are outstanding favourites in your event, did the added pressure allow you to enjoy your performances more, or are they more tick box performances because of the pressure? You expected to win, you've delivered, right, I can move on.
Nah, I love the pressure. I love it. It's what makes a competition. The thing that the worst part of the season for me is truly when we're in the very beginning of April, when I'm having home meets and I'm, going to the very local track meets, and, I'm warming up next to high schoolers and low D2 colleges, basically. And I'm like, yeah, this is just another practice day. It's like, even if there was, and we have very fast people, who come to our home meets. Like, the Claremont has basically all the fastest sprint groups in the world. And it's still like, no matter if I was facing Andre that day, I would just be like, yeah, I'm just not feeling up to it. There's no pressure on the line. It's at the end of the day, it's like, there's no money being upraised for it. There's no titles for it. It's not on TV. It's like, it's just kind of just getting through it. Yeah. But when the pressure is on, when the competition is high, when everybody wants to take the crown, it's like, this is the moment I dream of.
I'm going to say pick up now, because these are the 2, right? They got things they got to cross, right? So Karsten has got to deal with that pressure and clear the barrier. If you didn't have to clear a barrier, would you be as confident as Noah, or are you still just as confident anyway?
I think, confidence is something you build, and when you do 3 gold medals in 1 week, your confidence will boost, obviously. And it's somehow the same for me, because I think even though we are crossing barriers, no matter what it is, you have to do the job, and I don't see that that's difficult. This is what I do. There's a reason why I jump hurdles, and I think I can do it better than most people. So I would probably be better off with hurdles. I would probably have more issues if I were to remove them, right?
Okay. Wanda, how about for you? That added pressure, because I was looking at your final. 6 people were capable of going over. 3 people were capable this year going over 6 meters, which means you still had to pull something out the bag, right? You can't just turn up and go, there you go, it's mine.
100%. No, it was a fantastic competition, and I think that you can kind of see that, especially for me there towards the end. I was starting to get a little bit tired at those world record attempts, but no, they pushed me really hard. They pushed me really hard in those 96 meter bars, and wasn't really able to. Yeah, couldn't really relax, honestly, which is a good thing, because like we're talking about now, I think pressure can be very nice, and I think when you learn how to handle pressure and use it to your advantage, then you can kind of unlock a new level that you didn't even really know that you had in you. And so I think that when you put yourself in those kind of situations where it's the biggest moment and everybody's jumping really well and everybody's competing well, then you can get something else out of you that you can't really find that nowhere else unless it's a moment that's huge, and it's got to be something very important and something big. But yeah, my event is a little bit different, I would say, because it is very technical in a weird way, to where you still have to be able to relax a little bit, because you don't want everything to change too much, because we have so much variables like the poles, the standards, where to run from and everything like that, and you need a specific rhythm on the runway every single time that you want to be consistent with. So you have to be able to really channel the pressure. You can't just let everything just loose. You kind of have to be able to know how to control it. And I don't really exactly know how it is for the 400 meter hurdles. I think it's probably similar. I definitely don't know how it is for the sprint.
Yeah, I thought that was going to come. Yeah.
But that feels like maybe it's more just let it freaking go. But in pole vault, you have to know how to control it, because then if you let it kind of just get out of hand, you still have to, there's still a lot of technique and a lot of timing that goes with it. But if you know how to use it to your advantage, that's when you get some big jumps.
Now, this is going to be an odd question. I'm always full of odd questions anyway, but this is going to be a specific one. You mentioned being tired as a pole vaulter, right? What does that actually mean? Because we see when Karsten is tired, because he's running down the home straight like he's carrying a piano on his back, right? So it's clear. And sometimes when Noah is running down that home straight there, if he's a little bit fatigued, you see his knee lift drop just slightly, so you can see those clear signs. In pole vault, you just steaming all the time. It doesn't look any different. So can you describe that fatigue for us?
Yeah, it's probably not the same type of lactic that these guys have.
Hope not.
If I'm going to be completely honest, that'd probably be pretty bad, running like 40 meters like I do. But no, it's more like not tired and that way. It's more just, for me, if I'm going to be trying to jump something like a bar over 620 and a world record type jump, I just need to be perfectly fresh, and I got to be really light on my feet, and I got to hit a perfect run. So it's not more that I'm like tired like lactic, my legs won't move or anything. You need them, because the later the competition goes on, I guess naturally you're probably going to sometimes you get a little bit more into the rhythm of things, but then also if the competition goes too long, you take too many jumps, you'll get a little bit more flat, and that's also when you need your best jumps out of yourself. So I wouldn't say not tired, not like 400 meter type tired, but just more like not there enough to jump a world record. That's what I meant more.
Okay. Karsten, 400 hurdles, sub 47 again in that final. I mean, to me, it was a real race for you. You wanted to get out there. You wanted to hang on to that title. It was a job well done.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
It was actually a bit special, because the semifinals were super fast. I was like, this is going to be a really, really fast final. But at the same time, I knew that the rounds it's going to be costly for everyone, because it is tough, and lactic is something you accumulate. It's not like you're on lactic today and you are 100% ready to run lactic tomorrow and the day after and so forth. So what I was thinking is, this race is going to be decided in the last 100 meters. And that's why I didn't go out like a crazy maniac like I always do. I was like, I need to have something left in the tank for the last 100 meters, and I felt like at that part was also where the race was decided this time. So I'm very happy about going away with the win, and the competition has almost never been tougher. So it's cool.
Does that mean you're kind of growing up a little bit? Like you're thinking to yourself, "Ooh,
maybe," or I've done all the mistakes, so now I know what not to do. But at the same time, it's also what Mondo was saying. It's usually all out. I don't save anything. When I crossed the finish line, I felt like I've used all my energy. But it's also a very economical race. You need to save something for last 100 meters, because in Istanbul at the European Indoor Championships, I went out in 20.8 for the first 200, and I had 200 meters left, and that I didn't know if I was running forwards or backwards at the end. So you learn some from these mistakes as well, because it's lactic. Once it's in your legs, you can't get rid of it.
Yeah, no. Once it's there, it's stay there. So sure, Mondo, you picked.
No, I was going to ask. I was like, it must be also kind of weird for you, especially because it's like in the race, that if you can take it a little bit easier in the first 300 or so, then you have probably a better chance at winning. Yeah. You might not have the same type of odds to do something like a world record or something close to that, but then so that you kind of have to make this probably decision, I would imagine, whether it's like, am I trying to go for a world record or am I trying to just win a world title? Because I know that the safest option is if I do a very controlled race rather than go for everything, and then you have the possibility of the downside of dying towards the end there.
Yeah, but it's a very good point, and that's exactly how it is, because if you're gonna beat 45.94, which is my world record, you need to be running like a maniac. It's like there's no rhythm, there is no nothing, there's just one gear, and that's full speed ahead. And you must have a really, really great day to do that. It's like world records, they don't come easy when you order them. It's they're there once your body wants it to be.
Unless you're pole vaulting, of course, right?
But I think but this is actually the fascinating thing about it, because we've been talking a lot about this. When you see someone do something a lot of times, like Mondo been breaking the world records, I don't know how many times, but the bonus department in Puma is just shaking their head. And
we messed up.
Yeah, but everybody watching it is thinking, this is easy. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure, not having discussed it with Mondo, but I'm pretty sure it's much more difficult than all of us can imagine, to keep that pressure and to keep it going and to be jumping higher than any other people that have pole vaulted ever have done before you. And it takes some to always keep the pressure. And I can feel the same with me as well. It's like the first one is the easiest one, and then to apply the pressure and to keep on pushing, that's the difficult part, and the underestimated part, I would say.
Well, this is going to straight to you, Noah, because now you talk about pushing. You've done it. You've done the 100-meter title. So now people are going to start saying, well, you better be doubling all the time. How are you feeling about that?
Well, the craziest thing is I just realized that I'm the only one up here without a world record. I'm like,
well, you can change that,
I'm like,
right?
Dang, I got to give me one of those.
Change it. Yeah.
And it's not to say that me and my coach, we're not training for that. Like, we definitely have had practices where we were like, okay, yeah, this is a possibility on the right day and the right time with the right race. And it just ended up not being at Worlds this year, but we were also training for the double, which was, as Mondo was saying, like that idea of, do you want to go after the world record or do you want to go after the championship win? The goal was always to go after the double. Mm-hmm. So we chose the championship win over everything, and it paid off. And to your question of doing the double, we've been wanting to do the double for years now, and it's just, this is the best time that it worked out for us, And
when you look at these two next to you, right, they don't have the added issue of something called the US Championships.
Oh, God.
Right? I mean, both of these just literally go, right, I'm in the team, right? You just focus.
Have you ever been to the Norwegian Championships?
I have. Yeah. Yeah, I have.
They definitely don't. It's not to say that everybody does not have hard championships or does not have to prove themselves to get to the World Championships, but the U.S. Championships is a whole nother beast. I remember going to the Olympic trials in 2021, and I did the 100, and it was probably the first time that I've ever choked. Okay. It was the finals for the 100, and I would say that was the only time that in my head I choked. I just overthought everything, and it just didn't work out. I think I got second to last, and I was like, woo, that was bad.
But Noah, does you winning the World Championships, do you get that World Champs bye for Olympics next year?
We do.
That's nice.
Which is the main reason why I was able to get to Worlds this year.
Nice.
Because if I tried to do that doubles, because in World Championship year, we have 4 days. Mm-hmm. So I'd do 3 rounds of the 100 in 2 days, and then I'd do 3 rounds of the 200 in 2 days.
That's brutal.
It's horrible. It is horrible, which is why we've kind of contemplated so many times of should we go after the double this year. But now that I have the double in both.
So now you basically don't even have a Charleston.
Exactly. I just got to show fitness. Somebody asked me if I was going to run the 400. I said no, but I can if I need to.
It's all good. It's all good.
But it makes it a lot easier because when you go to a U.S. Championship, you kind of know you're going to be facing the best people in the world in that event.
Yeah. So, talking about best people in the world, we are at Weltklasse. We're at the Zurich Weltklasse. The best people in the world kind of turn up here. So, what can we expect performance-wise from you all, Noah?
I'm here to have fun.
Okay. All right.
I'm not going to lie. I got off the plane yesterday, and I was doing a shakeout downstairs, and me and my coach were, doing some 60 meters, and my body was kind of getting back into it, and I'm like, shoot, I feel better than I did getting ready for the 200 finals. Because the thing with the 200 finals was I had done so many rounds, and my body was just like sleeping the whole day of the finals of the 200, and it was just trying to get its energy back. And I never feel like I had that pop. And when I was doing my accelerations downstairs, I was like, oh, I feel that pop again. Yeah. So I kind of knew that day I wasn't going to be hitting the world record. I knew it would be fast, and I knew I'd win, but I knew it wasn't going to be a world record. But now we have, maybe 2 meets to decide, can we get that pop again? Can we set up the race? Can the weather be right? Can the environment be right? So, again, I'm never going to discredit a world record because I'm always going to give my 100%.
Absolutely. And Mondo hasn't challenged you over any sprinting yet, Ryan, did he?
I think he still has that Shelley and Fraser Price race coming up.
When you mentioned the 60, I was like, oh, yeah, that came to mind.
I'm okay.
Okay. You're okay for this.
Dang, man, I got my money on you, bro.
And how about you then, Karsten? I mean, Zurich must bring back some great memories for you going under 47 here, So what can we expect?
Yeah, I have great memories from Zurich, and it's great to be back. I wasn't here last year, so that was sad. And this time around, I think it's the same like what Noah said. I always try to give it my 100%, and I think actually after the championships, it's more to get that mental adjustment more than the physical adjustment, because I think you've been so focused on the World Championships, and once you get that gold medal, you're a bit relieved. Even though you want it or not, you just let your shoulders down. I remember it happened, the worst race in my career was in Lausanne after Olympics 2021. My body didn't respond at all. And I think, that is the bad part about the championships, that afterwards it takes some time to turn your head back around where you want it to be. But at the same time, I think for me it's good. My legs are feeling good, so I just have to give it my all.
Well, we don't want you to have that same results as in Lausanne here, obviously. So
why not?
I'll look it up and I'll send it to you.
There are probably 7 other guys that really want me to have that result.
And how about you, Mondo? I mean, the field is stacked again.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. No, it's good. I mean, it is tough. It is tough, like coming off a World Championship, especially so close, only just a few days since the final. But I think that it's never been like this, where we had a championship meet and then it was Weltklasse and it was Zurich right after it. And I think it's weird, but I think it could be a really good thing, because I think that, I think this is probably it's the craziest and most intense meet of the year that's not a championship meet, I would say, here in Zurich. So I think it's nice, because now it's like, you might be a little bit tired mentally, you might be a little bit somewhere else, but once we step on the track and we feel the atmosphere, we feel everything here, we're like, ooh, this is this is real shit. We got to lock in, and we got to get back, and we got to go out here and do something good, because you know that everybody else is going to be fired up too, and especially a lot of the people that, you know, that aren't in the situation that we're in, that didn't win the World Championship. So they still have a lot of hunger, and they still got something to prove coming to this competition. So I like that it's here actually right after, because I think that if it was a meet that didn't have that same type of prestige and hype like World Class, then I think that it would be a little bit tough to wake yourself up. But since it is Zurich and it's here, then it's kind of like, yeah, this is no joke of a competition. I mean, this is probably the most historic competition maybe ever. So this is the one you kind of have to wake up for.
Got to nail this one. Just before I open it up to the floor, which I'll do shortly, how many Zurichs have you won? How many World Classes have you won?
Two. Second and one. That was kind of tough.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same streak. Yeah.
Yeah, 2.
I lost count.
It
better not be 2. I'm going to be mad if you said lost count. It's 2.
I think it's 4.
You say 4.
Yeah. See, 3 times.
3 2s and a 1. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 3 2s and a 1. Yeah.
Boys, you got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah.
We can just add ours together.
Yeah, and come close.
I'm not very hopeful for this catch up, if I'm being honest, and I'm okay with that.
Okay, you can all live with that. Are there any questions here from the floor for these 3 champion athletes here that we got?
I got a question for Noah. You made a comment about NBA champions being world champions, and that made a big fuss, and lots of NBA players made some comments on social media. Did anybody of these stars get in touch with you and talked about that?
Not the ones that weren't happy about it.
And what did the others say that were happy with it?
There's I'd say from the world side, I've gotten a lot of support. I know actually quite a few basketball players because my massage therapist works on them. She's actually working with the French team right now that are at the World Basketball Tournament, and you know a lot of them have the same idea as me. I mean, when they go back home, their countries aren't celebrating them as world champions; they're celebrating them as NBA champions. And I've gotten a lot of football players as well be like, hey, man, I know what they're saying, but, I agree with you 100%. And, it's funny because in the U.S., they're against it. But when you look at the whole world, it's like, oh, wow, a lot of people agree with what I had said.
Thanks.
Question for Karsten and Mondo. Before the Monaco meet, there was a clip on social media of you guys talking about a 100-meter showdown. And I'm wondering, is this ever going to happen? And what maybe is Shelly-Ann going to get invited to join it as well?
You're the challenger. You need to go first.
Put some money on it.
This time I was the challenger, yes. This time. The Shelly-Ann time, that actually kind of really wasn't me. That was, I would say, more her on the offense there. But I don't know. I think it would be. This one feels more likely, in a way. This one feels more likely.
Yeah.
And something that, I mean, it's something that I would like to do, and I think that I would like to just see where I'm at also and to run 100, because I feel like I do enough sprint training where it would just be fun to see where I'm at too. And I think that Karsten also probably wants to do 100 meter too.
Yes, I'm like a bit mixed about that, because probably people think that I can run like super fast. I don't think I will see the number 9 on the clock, but I
hope not. And I don't
think if I see number 9 show up.
But still, I think it's been a lot of years since I ran the 100 meters. I know it was the same with you, so it would be just fun. I think actually, it would be a great matchup. So I would really like it to happen. The only thing that I really want it to be is like I want it for both of us to be at a time where we feel like we can do it good, actually, and that it's a fun challenge. It's not like, whoa, someone pulled his hamstring right before Olympics. That is not good. So we need to find the right timing. But I think both of us are definitely down. We are not guys to dodge the competition, huh?
No, but I will say this though: he's being a little bit more diplomatic about it right now. When I first suggested it to him, he blew me off a little bit as far as thinking it would be a competition or not. Now he's acting like it would be a great competition. emotion on the mic. But when I first suggested it to him, he was kind of like, "Oh, okay. You really think you could beat me? All right, whatever." That was more of the vibe that I got.
I think.
So, but this is what I always do to level the playing field. Is like now I'm applying the pressure to you, and you need to feel some of the nerves as well. But of course, I think you would never challenge me if you didn't think you had a fair chance of winning. And I wouldn't accept if I thought that I would gonna embarrass you. So I think actually it would be a good match.
Just say you're better than him.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, all this twinkle toeing around.
No, I mean
we're not Americans, okay?
Yeah. No, you're here. You are the world champion at 100 meters. You see these two athletes. Who would you put your money on? You got to go back to the hotel with them. Remember.
Well, you know how to use blocks. I've never seen you in blocks.
Uh-oh.
I think I'm going to put my money on Karsten right here.
That's fine.
Just for that simple reason. Because you have to use blocks. You have to use them.
I know, and my plan was to start training with them. That was the plan. No, but I don't do blocks all that often, but I do blocks sometimes. So I'm not completely uncomfortable in it. And I know that like I'm not mad at you. Like I know that I am aware that going into the race, I am going to be a tad bit of an underdog.
Oh no, I'm not saying that you can't win at all, for sure.
I think that I'm going to surprise some people and open some eyes.
But let's be honest. I have a lot more to lose than you.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
And that's nice because the other race, Chilean, it was kind of the opposite. I had a lot more to lose. For real. So I like this spot better than the other spot that I was in, if I'm being completely honest.
All fair. Okay, seems like this is definitely going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. We got another question here.
This question's for Noah. This is Marley from Canadian Running. Obviously, I'm sure you saw Drake's comments. I want to know, are you a fan of Drake? Have you guys met before?
Have I met Drake?
I don't know. Maybe.
No, I've never met Drake.
Listen to his music?
Of course I listen to his music.
Anymore?
Of course. I mean, I'm not going to be offended by that weak comment.
Thank you.
Question for Noah. So you said that 400 is not in your plans in the future, but I know you're motivated by stats sometimes, right? Like sub 20.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've been keeping track of the combination sprinters, like 100, 200, 400.
Yeah, I'm aware.
So I mean,
I know where this is going. I'm not running the 4.
I mean, if you get that 400 down, you would really jump up. And you see guys like Tobogo, he's been jumping up the list. Of course, Curly, Norman up there. I mean, would you be motivated for like a one-off 400, get it down to like 45?
No. The only thing, the 300 is as far as I'm going. And I've been wanting to run the 300 for a while now, outdoors. But, it just hasn't, the meet hasn't presented itself at the right time.
Dude, one little low-key 400 in like Claremont, Florida.
Mondo is challenging you right now.
He's not challenging me. He wants to see me run it.
But you're going to do great in 400.
I could. Yeah. I definitely could. I mean, it's in my blood. Both my parents were 400-meter runners.
You beat Karsten?
Oh.
If I trained for it. If I truly trained for it, I would be the world champion in the 400 meters.
There you go. Karsten.
I'm a humble guy.
Definitely not the 400 hurdles, though.
I won't go out there saying I would beat Noah Lyles with hurdles in the way. I won't go out saying that.
Yeah, you won't go out saying that.
Were those quotations I saw while you finished?
Have we got one more final question from the floor before I shut this down here and you can have your one-on-ones? All good? Well, one last one? Yeah, go ahead.
The question goes to all three of you. You're global superstars of our sport, and you talk a great deal about the World Championships, and I know it's the biggest, you're world champions and you're right. But do you ever think a time will come where the Diamond League would also be in tandem with the World Championships? Because it kind of seems like outside those 2 weeks of the World Champs, people move on. And sometimes people that are not hardcore fans seem to forget. We've only got the Diamond League. So do you think there'll be a time where it will get in tandem with the World Championships?
Personally, the only way that I can see that the Diamond Leagues being at the same level or even bigger is when people basically are going to say that they're going to forego world championships and they're just going to focus on running, and they're just going to get the environment of whatever circuit is created that it is so much more popular than the world championships. Just like how you have in tennis, where you have the Grand Slams and whatever other events they do. Now, when the Olympics comes up, they can go, but it's like not really a care. It's like, oh, I might become an Olympian, but I'd much rather win Grand Slam after Grand Slam. It's that type of behavior that we would have to see in the sport to be able to get those two to be equal, if not greater than.
So I think also we have sort of an advantage with these championships as well, because they are really appreciated, and you can call yourself, the world champion or whatever it is. And track and field is different also, because if you see a lot of the other events, there are one group for men's and one group for women's, but we have a lot of events going down here, and it's hard to say. I don't know how it would be, but I heard like the off years now is going to be some new Grand Prix thing that's going to happen every 4 years. I don't know, maybe that's a good test, but I don't have the solution. I'm pretty happy with how it is, and I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when you come off of World Championships and when you're at the World Championships, in some way you're a little bit kind of indifferent about the way you feel, in the sense of you get a lot of hope in a way, because when you're at the World Championships you can really feel how big of a deal it is and how big of an impact it makes, and you definitely don't see that always with some of the other meets that we compete at. So I guess it would be nice if there's a way to kind of reach a balance between that, and maybe if there's a way to tie the meets together in some type of way, to where if the Diamond League could be some type of qualifying for the World Championships, maybe to where it's actually a regular season in a way, and then you just have the final, which is like the championship meet. I think maybe that could bring a little bit added more importance to it. But
you get the bye if you win Diamond League final, right? For world champs.
True.
So that's
true.
Exactly
that's a way. That's a nice thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what you just explained.
True. But I also meant more like a regular season, in the sense of they have the meets. There's meets that are qualifying to the World Championships, to where it's maybe a smaller field in the World Championships, and there's these meets that are like a regular season qualifying, as if like like they do in all the professional sports in the United States.
I see, like almost like a finals.
Yeah, like it's like a finals.
Each country having their own championships. It would be these meets are the finals to leading up to Worlds.
Yeah, but it's more like the Diamond League meets are like the regular season, but they actually mean a lot, because you need to be in the right position and gain enough like points or whatever it may be to even make it to the World Championships. You know what I mean?
Like the Diamond League final.
Like the Diamond League final-ish, yeah. But then the Diamond League final, that might be a little bit weird with the whole Diamond League final thing.
The World Athletic Ranking System.
Yeah, like the World Athletic Ranking
System. Because most people can't get the actual standards, so they usually use the World Athletic Ranking System.
But I meant more like maybe like an organized fashion, where it's easier to follow and easier, like where it's actually a season where everybody's competing against each other, and it's I don't know. I'm making it up as I go along right now.
Fair enough.
I'm really honest.
An idea on the spot.
I haven't thought it is a completely fresh idea. I'm really thinking about it as it goes on. I'm just brainstorming out loud.
No, I mean, but we are all on the spot.
It felt nice in my head. It's coming out maybe a little funny, but I think there might be something there, floating in there. Just got to gather the thoughts and put them together in a more cohesive way.
Write them all down, right? Write them all down. You never know.
Like this, just throwing out ideas.
Yeah. I mean, one of you's got to stick.
Talking and thinking later, and then seeing what happens. Yeah.
Listen, but I think it makes sense, because you can't change the sport. It's like you can't just say we're gonna need something more entertaining, so people will start shooting arrows at Noah while he's running 200 meters. But you need to, you need to appreciate track and field for what it is.
Yeah.
It's like the pole will always be the pole, 200 meter will be the 200 meter, whatever, and somehow we also have some good things going, and we need to build it around that, and then some tweaks, whatever will make probably a bigger difference in the future. But I also think championships are one of our strongest sides, and the Olympics, where we are the biggest sport, I would say, is also very. It's a big thing for us, I would say.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that answered your question. Stars, listen, you've been absolutely fantastic, guys. Right, you've been absolutely fantastic. So thanks for joining us today. Before we go anywhere, we've got the mandatory selfie as well, so sorry about that. Yeah, I take it, basically. And we'll be certainly back with you shortly with another interviews. Thanks, guys.
That's it.
Athletes that are joining us. Gianmarco Tamberi, who's sitting right next to me here. Neeraj Chopra, javelin thrower there. And I love saying this, world champion, Josh Kerr. I love saying that, right in the middle of there. So with that in mind, and I don't want to show any favoritism, guys, but he's British, right? Yeah. So I will start with our new British world champion. So, Josh, if I say to you 3:29:38, what does that mean to you? I can see your jaw starting to smile already. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting week, getting pulled in lots of different directions. But yeah, I think I put together a performance on Wednesday that I was very proud of, regardless of what that time was. I was hoping it would be slightly faster to grab that British record. But again, we have an opportunity tomorrow to go after it. So it's a great time, but it was all about that win, really.
I'm giggling as you're saying that because I'm remembering an interview you did after, and you said you were hurting. And you said Jakob definitely was hurting as well, but you just wanted it.
Yeah, I think, everyone approaches the year in different ways. This, I've always had a major kind of focus on the major championships, and it doesn't matter what my decisions are throughout the year. That's always going to be the end goal. That's always the one in mind. So, yeah, I knew I'd put the work in, and I was really fresh. And then it was just about, turn up on the day, and I felt like I did that. And it was a hard race. It was a hard-fought race regardless. And, I was just ready to go pretty hard and hurt as much as possible. I didn't really care how much it hurt because I knew it would be very nice on the other side, and it has been. So, yeah.
Brilliant stuff. I'm glad that you're enjoying your experience as a world champion. Now, these two either side of you, though, they've kind of experienced being champions already. So they're looking at you with big smiles and welcome you into the club, right?
Yeah, welcome to the club.
Yeah, welcome into that club.
Great job.
Absolutely. So talk about you then, Gianmarco. Someone said to me before, you seem to know him really well. And I thought to myself, how long have I actually known you? And most probably, the first time I met you was here in Zurich.
Yeah, I think 2017 probably.
2017. Yeah, I was still young then. Yeah. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. So 2017, we were chatting, and you were really kind of just on the brink. You had a little bit of injury problems. Okay. You had injury problems, we know. But you returned from those. But what I always remember about you, even when we were chatting then, was you never lost your desire to do it, or your belief that you could become a champion. And I could really see that, even when you were hurting and coming back from injury. Would you agree with me?
Yeah, 100%. I think everybody watching my eyes in those days, they could tell I was doing everything possible to achieve my goals. The problem is that where they think it was possible, my goal. I mean, I'm happy that you start from my injury because now everybody's... Sorry, I have like a spider in my cap. Everybody talk about the victory in the World Championship, of course, because it was last week. But I always think about where I started. I started from that day, from that injury, 2 surgeries. The people didn't believe it was possible to come back, and now I'm here celebrating again a big victory, but without forget where I passed through, what I did to come here today, how many years I passed with nightmares, fear, frustration. You know, it's been very tough. 5 years where really I was another person just to achieve this goal. And now I'm enjoying, I'm taking back what I invest in it. So I'm really happy because I know where I started from.
A world champion on your own. This time, having that gold medal to yourself in this particular game.
Yeah.
I mean, was that a special moment to then climbing on the rostrum going, do you know what, nice one. Yeah, I've got them all now. I've done it.
Yeah, you know, of course, if I have to go back in the Olympics, I will never change how it goes. I will never ask for being alone in that gold medal place, because the moment with Mutat has been just unique. The best moment of my life, the best feeling ever, and I'm very happy and proud to have shared that moment with such an incredible athlete, such an incredible person, and I will never change it, never. Of course, I will never do it again, but just because we have did it once, and make it twice, it doesn't make any sense for everybody, for us at first. So he won last year the World Championship, and this year, honestly, I was very motivated because we shared the gold medal, then he won the World Championship. I say, come on, man. Now, he can't win twice. I mean, you have to show something, because if you don't show up, it's mean, you know, so joking apart, I'm very happy to have closed that circle of European indoor, European outdoor, world outdoor in the Olympics, and of course Diamond League Championship. Yeah. So yeah, it's feel amazing.
Yeah, this season has ticked a lot of boxes for you in that sense. Then yeah, it is good. Now, Neeraj, I mean, your season was, in comparison, really to the guys, pretty short but pretty great, right? You threw far early. Not so many competitions, but you threw a long way. Going to the World Championships, of course you're an Olympic champion. Were you still filled with confidence that another 88 will be enough for the gold?
Because of my groin injury, I didn't compete too much this year, and I just did from May to until World Championship, I just did 5-6 throwing sessions and not even full run up. That World Championship was challenging for me, but I was very prepared from my mind. I was thinking, okay, I have some problem, but I change a little bit technique with my right leg, and it works. But the World Championship was hard always, not only with body but also with mind, because in my country there is so many people and too much pressure with me, and the World Championship was only gold medal I didn't had before.
Yeah,
it's like Gianmarco, I also have complete now everything. So I won Olympic in Tokyo, and now World Championship gold, and I just have this 90-meter mark now. So hopefully I'll throw far in these next competitions.
You mentioned the World Championships, especially for me, your qualifying round, 88, you threw it out there, people knew straight away, okay, you're back in town, right? You're back in business. But in the javelin, that really doesn't guarantee that you're going to take a gold medal the following day.
No, you can't compare qualification round to the final, because in qualification round I was very relaxed with my mind and with body. Javelin flies well, but in final it's always too much pressure, and all athletes try hard to throw, but javelin is very technical event, and everyone try hard. And I also think in qualification round, okay, I can throw over 90 meter in final, but that didn't work. So it was very tough competition.
It was a really tough competition, lots of close and far throws, which of course makes me as a spectator go, ooh, that's fantastic. But you as the person out there, of course, you try to deal with that pressure. You did mention a little bit the conditions, and one of the things that all of us would have said, it was really hot in Budapest. That was real. There was very little wind, so the fact there was very little wind, it didn't seem to have any effect on the javelin or the discus. People were still throwing a long way. Why was that?
Weather, like if you say about temperature, I really like this weather, little bit hot weather, but I don't like headwind, because I already faced in Doha and I was in good shape, and the technique, and because we also need good speed in run-up, so it didn't work if too much headwind is. But we need tailwind for the long throws.
Okay, so yeah, that's noted for me now for next time I'm in commentary. Yeah.
And you don't know if there is the wind up there where they throw.
Well, it's still up there. Yeah, I'm looking at the flags up there flying up on top
the
of the
stadium. You know, they throw very far.
Yeah. So I was just hoping that, but he's given us a good enough answer, and I can roll with that. I can roll with that.
Tomorrow, Gianmarco told me that I'll cheer for you with public, and I'll also try to cheer for him. Hopefully
I spoke with him before in the car, and he told me, I really want these 90 meters. I say, man, we are in Zurich. Here everything is possible because the crowd is just amazing. So you told me we are competing close because we're competing here in the end. I say, I will do the crowd the last 2 meters or 30 centimeters.
It's crowd man,
So I will do it for you. Don't worry. Concentrate in 89 and we will do 90.
There you go. He's a good man, this, right? He's a good man. I mean, Josh, for you, when you hear all this kind of going on and the real camaraderie that these big champions have amongst themselves, I mean, you must be kind of pleased that you witness it and you're part of it now.
Yeah, I can give you 3 laps or so of giving it some of this, but I might get in trouble for doing some of this. So. No, I think, that's what I've always hoped and dreamed for. I was third at the Olympics, and, that was my first medal, and then it was just, what can I do to make that next step? Because my big thing over the last 5 years, I've been to 5 major championships, and it's like that step from being world class to like a world champion is the hardest step. And it's taken me a good few years, and now that I made that step, I'm excited to be here and stay here for a while. So it's I know it's a lot harder to be a world champion or an Olympic champion going into an event, but I've conquered all the other levels of competition thus far, so I don't see this one as any different.
Competition at home though is pretty stiff, as we kind of know, right? The previous world champion came from the United Kingdom, well, actually came from your club. So it's really, really, really tight in that sense. Does that still motivate you through the winters to make sure that you're the man on top?
Yeah, obviously for the Olympics we can only send 3 people, and 2 of them are world champions in the previous 2 years. So yeah, that's it's going to be a hard team to make still, and but that keeps you motivated through the year, and there's no laziness around because we have 7-8 guys with the standard, and if they finish top 2, they're going to go automatically, and then at that point it's going to be a tough call, I think, for British athletics after that. But I'm just here to continue this level of competition and keep enjoying my run.
Would you double up in the championship? Would you try 8:15 double?
I mean, 8:15 sounds rough. 15:5 sounds rougher. So no, I can't see that happening. But listen, I think to be able to double back and be able to be an Olympic champion in the 1500 is my next goal. And I obviously also won the British record, so I have kind of 2 goals for the next year or so, and we'll see how I get along with those ones first.
Not being disrespectful to you in any way, Josh. I mean, these both guys have won Olympic titles. So what advice would you give this man who's just won his first world title and going into the Olympics?
Should I give a suggestion to somebody who just won the world championship?
Yeah, that's what I say. No disrespect. Just say, what was it? Because
just keep I think the main thing is to keep the hunger that you had before this championship. Never think about what you have done. Always think about what you want to take. And honestly, I just watched my Olympic gold medal once in the last 2 years. The time I took it and I watched it, I start crying because I realized that I never ever think about what I have done. I always think about what I want to do. So I'm looking forward to the moment when I will end my career and look at what I have done. But while you are competing, just be focused on what you want, what you are dreaming. That's the only thing I think I can say.
I think that's a good advice. What would you say?
I think he's already world champion, and world championship is sometimes harder than Olympics by performances. So I think he'll make it in future. So
we will shoot for you.
Result. There you go. I've got more supporters for you there. We're doing well. We are here at the World Classic though, and we need to still perform, right? That is always the key thing. We're not
really?
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
They didn't tell me about it.
Always read the small print. I keep telling you, right? When you look at anything, read the small print. You're here. What can we expect from you? The showman, the ultimate showman.
I was scary about this question, honestly. I must be 100% honest with you. After the World Championship, I just start thinking about finish my year, because when you put all your energy or everything in that competition and you achieve your main goal of the year, it's very difficult to keep motivating the week after. I mean, it's not just the month after as it was after the Olympic Games, it's the week after. So honestly, it's going to be hard. It's challenging. We are all here to perform as well as we can, but it's not easy because I mean, that's for me. It's difficult to sleep after you win the gold medal in the championship, because we are not used. I mean, I'm not used to win World Championship every 2 years. Mutat's probably he can sleep the day after because we have like 1,000 medals at home. Not me. So it's very difficult because you realize that everything you have done, it worked for something. And I feel tired. I know that I'm in a good shape because the shape is the same of last week.
Yeah.
But you feel that there is some kind of difference. We will push each other to try to perform as well as we can, and the crowd, of course, will do the rest.
Do you think that you said all that, but even though you may be just relaxed, don't you just compete better when you're relaxed generally?
No. I need the pressure. I need my shoulder in the wall. I need to say myself or now or never. So it's more difficult when you're relaxed and when you're kind of satisfied for something. But the same way, before the World Championship, I told to the meet organizer I would have come here, so I couldn't say after the gold medal, no, I'm sorry, I'm going to vacation. That wasn't nice, and I always want to give back to the crowd what I take, so I will be here tomorrow, I will do my best. I can't guarantee anything, because I know I don't want, it's like, I mean, I want to be honest. It's difficult to find the motivation 1 week after. It's not just say I'm satisfied with what I have done, but it's difficult 7 days after to push yourself over your limit. Then probably tomorrow I will jump to 40. Who knows?
I know exactly. You say that.
But it's just difficult. Let's see. I want to go out there and enjoy with the crowd what we have achieved all together. So we will see what happens.
Brilliant. Josh, how about yourself?
Yeah, I think, for me, I wanted to extend this season. I kind of raced sparingly coming in, and obviously it was an emotional high last week, and I didn't need convincing to run this race. My coach needed convincing that I should run this race. But for me, I can't promise a result, but I can promise the effort level. The pace is going to be fast. I'm going to be sitting right on the pacer, and I'm going to be, going for it. If that means, I run a fast time, or if that means the race is fast, that's my job. And all I can say is and promise is that we're going to send it.
Do you still enjoy racing when it's this kind of pressure on you now?
Yeah, I think, this is a completely different style of racing, which, in the World Championships we have lots of tactics, and it could be fast, it could be slow, and whatever. But this is, guaranteed fast, guaranteed, pacemaker, stuff like that. And so it's a whole different style. But, I enjoy it. I think, I've time trialed a good amount in my career, and I've got a couple of records under my belt that I'm happy with, and I'm just looking to run a PB, to be honest. I haven't run a PB in 2 years, so.
Well, as you go around the track, right, if you have a time and he's just sitting there not looking inspired, just give him a clip, right? Just to make sure that he's awake at least, right? That is for sure. And Neeraj, how about yourself? What can we expect? He's promised you 90 meters, remember? So you've just got to get that 89. Do you have that in you?
No, I will try my hard. Like always, if I'm competing, I'll try hard. I'll give my 100%. But javelin was the last day in World Championship, so I still feel some pain in my shoulders and back, but I'll give my 100%.
Yeah, well, we'll all be...
The main focus is just stay healthy and give 100%.
Yeah, I think that's always going to be the key factor. Staying healthy, getting yourselves through this will be the most important. But every single person we spoke to has really said that they're up for this. This is really the most important thing, because the crowd want to see great athletics, and I know you guys will deliver it.
We will try.
Yeah, 100%. Have we got any questions from the floor from these magnificent athletes here? Yeah.
Question for Josh. After Jakob Ingebrigtsen won the 5,000, he made some comments. He referred to you as just the next guy up, and saying he wasn't 100% healthy. I'm just curious if you heard those and what you think of them, what your response is.
You say you say the next guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Emotions are high in kind of the media, and I know he won that 1,500 title, and that 5K field seemed to not realize he'd ran 3 rounds and kind of wanted to make it slow for some reason. But he can be disrespectful to me. That's fine. I still have the World Championship gold medal, and I'm going to be a world champion for the next 2 years, regardless of his comments. Obviously, don't love disrespectful comments, and I've worked hard to get into this position, and I beat him on the day. But if that's the kind of route he wants to go down, that's fine with me. I'm kind of unbothered by it.
Yep.
This is for Neeraj. Neeraj, you won in Lausanne, you won in Zurich last year. Your training base is also in Switzerland for the past 1 month. You've also been the tourism ambassador for Swiss tourism for Indian groups. So talk about your relationship with Switzerland and how it has evolved over the past 5-6 years.
Switzerland is really beautiful country, and my agent is also from Switzerland. He was a javelin thrower, and yes, it's for me it's first time to train in Switzerland, and it's really nice place. And also, I am like Swiss tourism brand ambassador from India. So many Indians visit Switzerland or Italy also. They really like this place, but Switzerland is really lucky for me because I won my first Diamond League last year in Lausanne, and then my first trophy in Zurich. And this year also in Lausanne I won this Diamond League. So Switzerland is really good for me, and hopefully tomorrow also I'll throw good.
Question for Neeraj. You talked about pressure before coming to the World Championships, and I'm talking about the pressure from back home in India. So many expectations, and I go through your social media page, and you're literally one of the most followed track and field stars, probably even behind Usain Bolt. How do you handle the pressure? And worst case scenario, you didn't take the gold, would you be able to go back to India?
It's because of India, because we have so many people, and they are very sportive, and they following athletics, and they are very interesting about athletics now. And you see, there's 3 javelin throwers is best 6 in Budapest. So they are now, because cricket is very famous in India, but now they are also following athletics. So it's really good, and I always believe in my throws. When I compete, I always think, even if I didn't throw that far, I always think, okay, until last throw, I'll throw until my PB, like very close to my PB. And I always keep pushing myself. That's why in World Championship that was challenging, but I was believing, like first throw was foul, but I was believing, okay, I can throw there in close to my PB, and I feel good. That was fun. World Championship was a good memory now.
Oh yeah.
Question for Neeraj. From what I understand, India is one of the countries that might be interested in bidding for the 2027 World Championships. And I'm sure if they hosted, the men's javelin would be very popular. You get a lot of fans. How do you think the turnout and the fan attendance would be for the other days if India were to host that meet?
Can you ask me again?
Sorry.
It's really challenging for me because my English is not so good, and now continuously asking questions. So
2027, it sounds like India might be interested in bidding for the World Championships that year. So I know when they do the javelin, there will be a lot of Indian fans if they were to host. What do you think the attendance would be like for the other days of the meet?
Okay. Do you get the question?
Get it clearly. Yeah, they are bidding, but what?
Yeah, and so if you're competing on, say, Monday,
yes,
everybody comes to watch you throw and win the title.
But nobody will come for me.
On Tuesday?
No.
Do you think that, or do you think the fans will come all the time and support athletics?
Yes, so
that's what you want, right?
I'll request them, and hopefully, yes, it's now javelin is like famous in India, but I always told in Indian interviews that we need to understand athletics, and we need to be knowledgeable about athletics, because athletics is not only javelin throw.
Right.
So many events here. So if they didn't come, I'll push them.
That's one of the best answers I've heard all day. Yeah, I'll push them. Any final question here? Oh, yep, sorry. We have the mic there.
Joss, you said earlier that you've raced sparingly this year. Are you planning to race much more before the end of the season, or is it looking ahead to next year? So a couple of races and out. What's your plan?
There's not many races left for me. I'm going to be taking it one by one, though. So depending on how tomorrow goes, we'll make that next step and that next decision. That's kind of the deal I made with Danny. Was, I wanted to race a lot more, but again, we've got to respect how difficult that championship was on the body, and running close to, I've ran under 3:30 twice this year. I'd never done that before. It is hard to do, even though you see it a lot more often. It's still hard on the body. So yeah, I'll go through tomorrow, make the decision from there what the next plan is.
Any final question? It'll be just the one more before we wrap up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today. Again, three wonderful athletes who are here to give their all tomorrow at Weltklasse Zurich. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have